Hi, welcome to my channel. It's Akshada Are by Devraj. Let me start reading a newspaper. Before going to start the newspaper, I would request you guys to please subscribe to my channel, like and comment. I hope you guys are working towards to improve your communication in English. So let me start today newspaper. Yes, guys, I hope you guys are ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಕಲಿತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಮೊದಲ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಪೇಜು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹಿಂದೂ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ವುಡ್ read only the important points which is very important for the examination. So railways to overall station signage, tribal leaders decree poor implementation, analyzing the judgment and the core issues. So the issues were about the CM, who is the CM, the upcoming next CM of Karnataka. Shivkumar skips Delhi visit, suspense continues. SEBI Dennis probing Adani since 2016. Congress says minister misled Lok Sabha. Turkey faces election runoff. Enough. Mamata to back Congress in other states if it sacrifices Bengal plans. Day after disaster, people walk past fallen trees in Kyakatau in Myanmar. Rakhine cyclone Mocha made landfall in Myanmar and southeastern Bangladesh on Sunday, uprooting trees, scattering flimsy dwelling in Rohingyas displacement camps and bringing a storm surge into low-lying areas. At least 700 people have been injured so far. Conductors' experience in hospital labor ward comes in handy on a bus. UGC asks institutions to introduce Vedic mathematics, astrology as part of degree course. IITB and IHR to come up with automated greenhouse system. Courses to be introduced. 32-year-old arrested for hacking into government sites to steal money. CBSE exam. These schools excel. CMR Institute celebrates graduation day. Questions over implementation of Gruha Jyoti scheme. Researchers design photonic memory. Citizens avoid over 4 hours during a march. Villagers protest over statue desecration. Double-decker express train derails. No one hurt. Police in the dock for assaulting 2 persons over trivial rule. Online games of skill are not taxable as betting and gambling under GST Act. Government gears up to select a new state police chief. 170 SJI and students awarded PG diploma in management. Focus shifts to Delhi while DKs and Sidramaya supporters keep the pot boiling in Bangalore. People of the state have given a gift of 135 seats, says Shivkumar on his birthday. Those who served as speaker at different times lost in polls. Minority representation has remained low in most assemblies. Despite big victory, Congress may have to depend on JDS in council for a while. Burma holds talks on party's poll laws with RSS leaders. Adanda Karyappa quits as director of Rangayana. Tamil Nadu's spurious liquor toll rises to 17. CM orders CBCID probe, suspends SSP. 41 other victims are undergoing treatment in Villupuram, Jipma, and at the Puducherry Government General Hospital. Police have detained 45 Iraq sellers and seized 109 liquors of the illicit alcohol. Ishwarappa suspects the threat call seek probe. Congress may try to bring back a estranged KC. Arikumpam attacks ration shop in TN. Tamil Nadu, 23 buffaloes die after being hit by goods train in Mangaluru. Goods train in Mangaluru. Foxconn breaks ground for 500 million manufacturing facility near Hyderabad. The Kerala story screening cancelled for fourth day in Bainsa town in Telangana. Yes, this is the editorial page. ಇದು editorial page guys. ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಓದಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಎರಡು ಸಾರಿ ಓದಿ ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So this is the editorial page. Kindly read this at least twice till you understand what is the concept, what is information in this. A court recall that impacts the rights of the accused. Let me read this editorial page. Delving into the verdict on the Shiv issue. Delving into the verdict on the Shiv issue. The most interesting thing about the Supreme Court of India's judgment on the Shiv issue is that both sides think that it is in their favor. The Chief Justice of India has apparently analyzed the issues with clarity and reached conclusions with a great amount of ingenuity. However, it eludes ordinary citizens how each party can think that the statement of law contained in the judgment is in its favor. Therefore, it is necessary to analyze the judgment and find out what the top court of the land has actually said on the contentious issues brought up before it. Floor test was wrong in law. The Maharashtra governor's action in calling for a floor test has been very severely criticized by the court, which characterized it as illegal. The judgment says in the present case, the governor didn't have any objective material before him to indicate that the incumbent government had lost the confidence of the House and that he should call for a floor test. Hence, the exercise of discretion by the governor in this case was not in accordance with the law. The court has said in so many words that the governor is a constitutional authority and should not involve himself in any inner or intra-party disputes. Yes, well, it is logical for the court to say that the resignation of Uddhav Thackeray as chief minister before the floor test has effectively prevented the court from restoring chief ministership and thus doing complete justice in this case. But there is no doubt that the governor was wrong in law in calling for the floor test. However, the Constitution Bench doesn't find anything wrong in the same governor inviting Eknath Shinde to form an alternative government. It is, of course, the constitutional responsibility of a governor in calling for a floor test and which has been characterized as illegal by the court, triggered the resignation of the chief minister. The proof of this illegality was the formation of an alternative government. It is rather naive to believe that the impact of that illegality evaporated the moment Uddhav Thackeray resigned. As it happened, the governor had Mr. Shinde sworn in as chief minister, a member of the same Shiv Sena to which Mr. Thackeray belonged, with great alacrity. As per the universally accepted convention, in all democratic countries, when a government falls, the constitutional head, governor or president, inquires of the leaders of the opposition whether he could form a government. The governor of Maharashtra did not ask the leader of the opposition in the assembly whether he was in a position to form a government. Instead, he chose another member of the Shiv Sena, whose government had just resigned. To form the government, this action of the governor showed that he was a willing party to the ongoing inner party conflict in the Shiv Sena. The court has in unambiguous terms stated that the governor shall not enter the arena of inner or intra-party conflicts. but that is what was precisely happening. But is what was precisely happening. Therefore, when the Constitution Bench approves the governor swearing in the Shinde government, it misses out on the continuing impact of the illegal act of the governor in calling for the protest. The Supreme Court seems to have ignored the immorality of the whole exercise. The judgment alone lost its moral timber here, validity of whip. Now, to the question of disqualification of MLAs who defied the whip. The basic issue is whose whip is valid. As it happened, both the groups issued whips to all the members of Shiv Sena party, and each group has moved disqualification petitions against the other group. It has been rightly held by the court that the decision on a disqualification petition should be taken in the first instance by the speaker. So the matter of disqualification has been referred back to the speaker. In this context, the most basic question that should be raised in whose whip is valid. The Supreme Court has stated clearly in their judgment that it is the political party which can appoint the whip as well as the legislative party leader, and not the legislative party. However, the judgment has imported needless confusion by stating that when a split occurs in a party, two factions arise and no signal faction is the party. As a matter of fact, the 10th schedule contemplates an original political party and a faction which arose as a result of a split in the original party, when paragraph 3 contained the split provision. After the split provision was omitted, the original political party changes only when a merger under paragraph 4 takes place. When the original political party merges with another party, either that party becomes the original political party or a new party formed after such merger. The point is that there is always an original political party which is the point of reference for the purpose of deciding the question of disqualification. The 10th schedule doesn't contemplate the two rival factions at any time. The explanation to paragraph 2.1 is very crucial in determining the question. It says an elected member of a house shall be deemed to belong to the political party, if any, by which he was set up as a candidate for the election as such member. This explanation clarifies the party affiliation of a defecting member. According to this explanation, all members of the Shinde faction belong to the original political party. The Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray, it must be made clear that under the 10th schedule, Mr. Thackeray's party is not a faction. It is the original political party. Going by the judgment, it is this party which can issue a valid whip. So all those members who defied Uddhav Thackeray's whip are liable to be disqualified. It is not clear why the judgment didn't deal with the above explanation to paragraph 2.1 so long as this paragraph is in operation. The speaker does not have to look for other evidence to decide which party can issue a valid whip. It is the original political party which can issue the whip. The further purpose of the anti-defection law is to punish the defecting legislators and protect political parties from being destabilized. The purpose of paragraph 15 of the symbols order is to decide which faction in a political party is that party in the event of a split. The anti-defection law doesn't recognize any split. It disqualifies all the members who voluntarily give up the membership of the party or who defy the whip issued by the party. The speaker is not called upon to decide which faction is the real party. The law settled that question through the paragraphs 2.1 explanation. The judgment lacks clarity where it says the effect of the deletion of para 3 is that both factions cannot be considered to constitute the original political party. The speaker needs to decide the question of defection on the basis of the above paragraph. The Election Commission of India may follow its own criteria to decide which faction is the party. The Speaker has to decide which legislator has defected from the original political party on the basis of the 10th schedule. The ECI decides it on the basis of test fashioned by it. The judgment creates a certain amount of confusion by talking about factions and the need for the speaker to decide which faction is the real party. The Supreme Court could have decisively stated that it is the Uddhav Thackeray's party which is the original political party, and that party alone could issue a valid whip. If it had said so, Mumbai would not have been in such a state of confusion as it finds itself in today. Yes, this is about the parties issues going, government issues is going in Maharashtra government. That is given in the literal form. Paragraph 2.1. Let me go to the next editorial page. A court recalled that impacts the rights of the accused. The Supreme Court of India's order on May 1st seeking to recall its own decision in Ritu Chabharia versus Union of India upon the instance of the Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, that central investigation agencies were facing difficulties has caused concern among legal professionals. Besides the questionable legality of the court recalling its own decision, what is of concern too is how this order would impact the rights of the accused to be released from custody. On May 12th, in its interim order, the Supreme Court clarified that courts could grant default bail independent of and without relying on the Ritu Chabharia judgment. However, the court's decision to suspend the rights of defendants in criminal cases would lead to the further erosion of the constitutional rights of the accused and deviate from fundamental principles of criminal procedure. Right to default bail. The right to statutory bail, often known as default bail, is available to accused persons in cases when the investigating agency fails to complete its investigation within the stipulated time. Under Section 167(2) of the 167(2) of the Code of Criminal Procedure (CRPC), the maximum time available to investigators is 60 or 90 days, depending on the seriousness of the offence. If the authorities are unable to complete the investigation within this time period, the accused can seek to be released from custody by applying for a default bail under the first proviso to Section 167(2) of the CRPC. Notably, the default characteristics of this bail comes from the fact that the application is unrelated to the merits of the case and is designed to prevent long-term detention of the accused. The right to default bail has been characterized by the court in multiple judgments as an indefeasible right, flowing from Article 21 of the Constitution, which guarantees the right to life and personal liberty. Therefore, in cases where the investigating authorities attempted to circumvent this procedure, the court rightly called out these tactics and refused to extend custodial detention of the accused. In Achpal versus State of Rajasthan 2018, the court held that an investigation report, albeit complete, if filed by an unauthorized investigating officer, would not bar the accused from availing default bail. In S. Kaushi versus State 2020, the court further stated that even during the COVID-19 pandemic, the investigating agency should not be allowed any relaxation towards computing the maximum stipulated period of investigation, which could lead to additional detention of the accused. This interpretation draws from the history of Section 167 of the CRPC, which has its roots in a recommendation of the 41st report of the Law Commission. Under the older version of the CRPC, accused persons could be detained for a maximum of 15 days. noting the abuse of this provision by the police, who kept the accused under extended periods of the custody by misusing other provisions pertaining to trial. The Law Commission recommended extending the period for which an accused could be detained in custody. This found its way into the CRPC through an amendment in 1978. To counter this, the powers granted to investigating authorities through extended detention. A provision for statutory bail was also introduced so as to ensure that the accused is not detained in custody for a long period of time. Yet true, not a bar. Unfortunately, these protections that were guaranteed to the accused were also withered away in practice, and as investigating authorities routinely filed incomplete or supplementary charge sheets within the 60 or 90-day period to prevent the accused from seeking default bail. In other instances, the investigating authorities would file charge sheets, incomplete or otherwise, after the 60 or 90-day period, but before the default bail application could be filed by the accused. The Supreme Court's decision on Ritu Chabaria delegitimized such illegal practices, and that incomplete charge sheets filed by the police would not bar an accused from applying for default bail. The court emphasized that the preliminary or incomplete nature of these police. Most importantly, in Ritu Jabharia, the court didn't lay down any radically new proposition, rather it drew from prior judgments, such as Uddhav Mohanlal Acharya versus State of Maharashtra, which delineated the constitutional foundations of the right of an accused to avail statutory bail. Thus, Ritu Chabaria didn't create any additional orders in investigation, rather highlighting the indefeasible nature of the right to seek default bail. The court in Ritu Chavaria simply reiterated that incomplete charge sheets could not prohibit the accused from seeking to be released on default bail. This is further seen in other judgments which have deviated from Ritu Chabaria on questions of fact. For instance, in Jaspreet Singh 2023, the Supreme Court held that a complete charge sheet filed within time could not be rejected because the investigation didn't have sanction. Given these possibilities, it remains unclear as to why the court would want to consider the possibility of recalling the judgment on legally tenuous grounds. Tenuous grounds. This decision is particularly alarming because the right to default bail, which has been interpreted as so far as flowing from the Indian Constitution, could possibly be made subservient to concerns of difficulties faced by investigative authorities. What makes the matter even more serious is the Supreme Court also agreed to defer decisions on default bail for accused persons across the country, which would have been decided as per Ritu Chabaria. Given the serious implications of this judgment on the constitutional rights of the accused, it is imperative that the three-judge bench of the Supreme Court hearing this matter doesn't sacrifice procedural propriety at the altar of the administrative convenience. Prati Shruti Das is an assistant professor of law at the Law School of India University, where she teaches criminal law and procedure. This is about the CRPC 167 1. and yes, 167 1 and 2, 167 2, 167 1 and 2, where the illegal detention is shall not be made. Death by methanol. There should be zero tolerance for sale of illicit liquor. Safety in line of duty. Doctors must be protected while they are working with patients. Yes, of course. Go to the next page. Evaluating DNA report has evidence. A cabinet reshuffle in Tamil Nadu. Higher turnout and bipolar contest favor BJP more. Shift in urban voting pattern. Iron Khan case. Wankhede accused of irregularities. CBI names pharmacy and CB Journal director, two more officials in FIR for their role in conspiracy by independent witness with others to extort 25 crore from the family of actor Shah Rukh Khan. Wow. Let me read this. More Odisha districts come under tribal initiative. File photo of Aryan Khan being taken to Arthur Road jail in Mumbai following his arrest. SEBI denies probing Adani since 2016. If law is drafted well, judiciary wouldn't get opportunity to overstep it. Sure, the written debates of the time when Article 370 was inserted are not available. Whoever drafted the law was sharp enough to add temporary provision against it. Situation in Akhala, Ahmednagar under control, but now is. Center faces tough choice as Taliban pick a new ambassador for Delhi. Activists slam center states up for failing to implement Forest Act to state protests. Center against ethnic division of Manipur. All eyes on Congress as opposition gaze up for strategy meeting. Pilot gives ultimatum to Rajasthan government to act on corruption cases. SC refuses to entertain plea against Rajiju Dhankar. MLAs from Manipur tribes urge Amit Shah to allow a separate administration. Manipur tribal body moves Supreme Court for immediate deployment of army in villages. Megmilk Agro Corp set up joint venture in plant-based food sector. Not a person to retire will start new innings, Justice Shaw. Railways gets on track to overall signage system. Directions to be available at key decision-making points, pictograms for wheelchair assistance, ramps, tourist information, mobile charging points, and escalators have been standardized. One-stop centers for zero waste to be launched in cities. ED breaches assets worth 457 crore of businessman. Has Leslers proposed to take agitation against WFI chief to the global arena. ED issues fresh summons to NCP MLA Jayant Patil. Roll up Kavin Samskaras. Let me read this roll of Kavin Samskara. There is a close association of cows and bulls with our Samskaras, said Velukudi Krishnan in a discourse. Only ghee is used for yogas and homas. A proper shraddha for Pitrus is elaborate, but for those unable to do it, some simpler ways are prescribed. The cow finds a place in one of them. Vishnu Purana says that one must gather grass needed to feed a cow for a whole day. One must stroke the cow's neck and say to it, "This year I am able to do only so much." The Sastras say that Panchagavya should be used for an organic pesticide. Panchagavya is a mixture of cow's urine, cow dung, milk, ghee, and curd. There are different ways of preparing Panchagavya. Milk, ghee, and cow's urine are taken in equal quantities. A little bit of cow dung and curd are added to this. Another method is to take all five ingredients in equal quantities. Vishnu Puranas gives the benefits of milk and its byproducts. Milk can be consumed to get rid of nausea. It gets rid of pitta and vata. It makes the skin lustrous and improves memory for. Curd cools the body when a cow is milked. There's a layer of broth on top. Vishnu Purana says this broth is a cure for indigestion and helps in the absorption of nutrients and thus gets rid of weakness and tiredness. Butter, according to the Puranas, improves fertility, gives one a glowing skin, cures kapha, gives one strength, and is good for the eyes. Ghee is good for the memory and for overall health. The cow should be milked in the early morning. Cow should be milked in the early morning hours. Butter, sugar, and milk should be mixed and offered to the deity, say Pancharatra Agamas. Yes, it is the reality. Let me go to the next page. Back in the Arab League, after 12 years, Syria seeks investments. Russia scrambles jet as France. Germany conduct NATO patrols. Israeli army kills man in occupied West Bank. Palestinian ministry. China sentences 78-year-old US citizen to life on spying charges. Sergeant Erdogan paints vote as victory. Rival remains hopeful. Thailand voters reject military-backed parties. Despite their success, MFE and Pew Thai still face many hurdles to secure power. Rumors are swirling that MFP could be dissolved by court order, the same fate that fell on its predecessor. We can't control the sky, Zelensky says as he asks for fighter jets on the UK visit. Exports fell to 6-month low in April on anemic demand. SpiceJet harm Spice Express to get 100 million from UK group. TII Q4 net surges 84%, declares 1.5 dividend. Cognizant introduces a generative AI for pumps. Gulveer Hasan and Patil Preeti makes the cut for Asian Championships. This is a sports page. Adoni happy with Dubes batting in the middle overs. Knight Riders captain Rana defined 24 lakh for a slow rate. Stokes to return home after CSK's final league game. Missing out on Warren still hurt, says Fleming. Gill Fumel's Sunrisers attack with a sizzling century. Titans make playoffs. Inconsistent LSG locks arms with a red hot MI. Dhoni. The ultimate outsider who has gone on to become Chennai's own Thala. ICC all set to discard contentious soft signal by on-field officials. Sports. Barcelona clinches its 27th La Liga title. Text and context. Appointment letters to be distributed by PM Narendra Modi. 71,000 letters Mr. Modi has distributed appointment letters to 2.9 lakh persons so far. The numbers will go to 3.6 lakh after the latest Rojgar Mela. The number of people dependent on coal mining in India. Fishermen reach Gujarat after release from Pakistan jail. The dip in India's exports in April this year. The fall in application fee for solar equipment makers. On sexual harassment in the workplace. How did the FOSH Act come into being? How does it define sexual harassment and the workplace? What does it require employers to do? What are the serious lapses flagged by the Supreme Court? What have been the adults to the law's implementation? This is about the sexual harassment in the workplace. Sexual harassment in the workplaces. What are the gaps in the AEPS transaction model? What is the Aadhaar enabled payment system? How are cyber criminals using Aadhaar for financial fraud? Know your English. What is a transformer? The machine learning model that powers ChatGPT. In a pioneering paper entitled Attention is All You Need that appeared in 2017, a team at Google proposed transformers, a deep neural network architecture that has today gained popularity across all modalities. The capital T in ChatGPT stands for transformer. FC Barcelona is the 2023 Spanish La Liga champion for the 27th time after taking an insurmountable lead on Sunday. He is a quiz on La Liga history. This is the last page. Nothing in there. This is about the what is the transformer, the machine learning model that powers ChatGPT. It's about ChatGPT, all about. So I'm going to end this today newspaper reading. I hope you guys are enjoy the reading. So I would, and you guys have to at least read 40 minutes to 2 hours to improve the communication. And see you in the upcoming videos. Please subscribe to my channel, like and comment, and have a great day.